What's up guys, Nightingale here, and welcome to ARTENA'S crafting event guide. We have a month-long event here in Epic 7, and I'm going to give you the ins and outs of everything you need to know about this crafting event to make sure that you end up with the best piece possible and you don't take garbage. I have a few friends that I know that did this event last time, and I wish they had this information then. But we're going to make sure that if you see this video, you're walking away with a good understanding of what to expect out of this event. So as you can see, we are sitting here in the sanctuary. If you look down there at the steel workshop, you see that there's a big blue event ribbon. You can't miss it. Ray Charles could even see that. All right, so for those of you who haven't been in the steel workshop, nothing's really changed here. Crafting is always here, and Reforge is always here. Crafting is, again, you're just the place where you go to craft your normal gear. This isn't where you're gonna be crafting for this event. Reforge is where you take your 85 gear and turn it to 90. And what's behind door number 1? ARTENA'S equipment crafting event. Welcome in, everybody. So the event runs from June 24th to August 4th, 2021. So to put this in perspective for most of you, because it's easier to remember something like this, Holiday You Fiends banner ends the same time this will end. All right? So while her banner's up, you probably want to start looking at wrapping up and printing your accessory here. That's right. You don't really want to craft this right away. Why? Well, here's why. We got some pretty big news, as I've stated in some prior videos. We have a month-long buff system going on in Epic 7. This weekend, we have an entire month of hunt buffs. We have next weekend is an entire weekend of hunt buffs. The final weekend is an entire weekend of everything, aka hunt buffs. So that's 3 weekends, 3 full weekends, not days, weekends of hunt buffs. What does that equate to? A lot of energy spent, a lot of crafting materials, a lot of really bad rolled gear, a lot. So, why do you not want to craft right away? Is because of just that. What if you happen to craft a very good piece or loot a really good piece? For the newer players, the ones that I'm specifically talking to are more like the ones that started around Beginner's Handbook or around where I even started. You may happen to be sitting there going, darn, I really need one really good piece to make this build really good. You want to save it to help push that character along. For a lot of beginners, that's probably going to be a really offensive speed boot for somebody, say, like your Arbiter Vildred. Or maybe if you're doing Spectre Tenebria, you're getting a speed boot that helps speed her up, get some bulk to her, get some attack to her. Or if you want to go a little more on the rarer side of things, you may be wanting to look at accessories, which are a little harder to get right. Now, some of you may be sitting here going, well, I roll good accessories all the time. Well, not everybody does. I have living proof not everybody rolls good accessories. But that's exactly what this event's for, is to make sure that you walk away with one really good rolled piece at how you expect it to be. So, we're going to jump in and we're going to take a look at this. But before we do, I do want to point this out. You see points owned 108. This is energy to energy. So, 1 energy spent, and it says right here in the information bracket. It is 1 energy spent is 1 point. Everywhere but dispatch missions, which is fine. Guess where you're spending all your energy anyway? No. Why? Why did you say story? Dude, come on. We're talking about gear. Spend it in Wyvern. Spend it in Azmonak. Spend it in Banshee. Katie's at that point over story. Why? Gold. Hunts have the highest gold. Come on, get with the program. You think we're over here trying to get you catalysts for your SSB. Wrong video. So, you're over here, you're going to be putting all your energy into hunts because you're trying to get geared up. That's what we're here for. So, I've already started this, and I'm going to walk you through this. So, the first step is going to require 500 energy. Yeah, if I put it that way, your eyes just opened up a little bit. I saw them. Yeah, through the camera, I just saw your eyes open up. Yeah, it's 500 energy. So, I want to talk about this because I know there's going to be some varying opinions out there. I'm going to be speaking to my Beginner's Handbook users, all right? for you guys, some YouTubers are going to tell you to probably go look at immunity sets or stuff like that. Specifically, they're probably going to tell you immunity because it's a rarer set for you to grind. Here's the thing. You probably can't grind Azmonak 13 where you're at right now. If you're coming off the beginner's handbook and we're just now getting into this, you probably can't grind that. What can you grind? Wyvern. Why? Because you've basically rolled your account to grind Wyvern. Now, some of you may have picked Spectre Tenebria and or Arbiter Vildred, and you probably do have a very good option there. But it's not enough. With the units that I have, it's still a very long process to grind it. It's not fast. I hate to say it, where I'm at, I can't one-shot it yet. So it's several minute investment just to get one run. You're here for Wyvern anyway. Why? Because speed is king for most everything. Now, why do I also say you're after a speed set? Because there's two other sets that roll around with Wyvern, which is crit rate and hit set. You're correct, but with my experiences, I see that crit rate and hit set, which is right here and right here, this is weighted way more to drop from Wyvern than speed. It's just me calling Smilegate out, but I'm just saying your numbers are weighted towards this. You're going to see way more crit rate and hit rate stuff rolled well before you'll see speed. Plus, in the case of, for my sake, I'm trying to get a speed ring for LQC. That's my goal of this, is to replace that atrocity that is equipped to her. I'll show it to you later. So, but for beginners, go here. If you are where I'm at, and I wasn't trying to replace LQC's ring, I'd probably actually craft an immunity attack % ring. I'll be honest with you. But I'm also an Azmonak farmer. I can do Hell Raid. I can get an immunity piece out of there. I wouldn't be worried about that. But for beginners, you probably can't get this. So please, do me a favor and select speed. No matter what you pick from here on out, at least pick speed. Because at least you know you have a very, very, very good speed piece. So you'd click the speed, you'd click select, and you'd burn 500 of your points. So now we're going to move on to the next stage, which is picking the pieces of equipment. Now, here's where I have to kind of put my foot down. Please don't do swords, helmets, or armor. Please. Please. You have a very good option here to roll a very, very good boot for your Arbiter Vildreds or your Spectre Tenebrias. That's way more important because you can instantly put 45 speed on him instantly. Do you understand? 45 speed when this is reforged. 40 when it's not. For accessories, you're able to get a very, very, very well rolled crit damage neck or attack % ring. Again, because I'm working on LQC, we're going to be going after a attack % ring. So that's my goal for this, is to walk away with that. Here, a lot of newer players, my advice is to go do the boot. So you'll select the piece that you're wanting, and then you're going to select and you're going to burn another 400 energy. Doesn't it hurt when you hear that? Don't worry. By the end of this event, you'll have tens of thousands of energy put into this. And this will feel like just a drop in the bucket. It's not that bad because it's a month-long event. You'll be spending all of your energy doing this. All right, so then what's next? So, in the case from where I'm at, I have 108 points, so I can't actually continue on. I've already put 900 energy into this today. I'm done. I'm not going to go really too much deeper into doing this other than what I wanted to get for the tutorial. So I thought about going all the way for it, but I was like, that's a lot of burned energy very unnecessarily for this when we have hunt buffs coming up. So that 1,000 extra energy I could dump into this for the video could have been a lot of gear. And hunt buffs is like 2 days, 3 days away from now. So I'm going to hold off. So for the rest of this video, I'll be telling you from my experience from the past video, and I'll explain everything else in great detail. So again, because I'm picking LQC, I will be going for an attack % ring. If you are picking boots, you may be tempted to click 60% attack % boots. That unit will be slow as dirt. But it'll hit hard as crap, but it'll be slow as dirt. For the sake of this crafting event, because you're not going to have the ability to get too many really, really good speed offensive boots, take the speed imprint and put it in on the boot. So you click this and you'll spend another 300 energy. Now what? So now, from here on out, it's going to cost you 50 points per substat reroll. Now, the way this is going to work is you are going to see 4 lines of substats. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to pop up a image that I used in Gearing 102 right now. So, you're now looking at what I'm looking at on my screen. This was what we put up in Gearing 102. These are the minimum and maximum rolls that gear can roll. Now, the parentheses are what you're most likely to see. The 5% or the 5 speed and the 8% crit damage, don't hold your breath on them. I believe that only drops on 88 gear. People have seen the 5 speed roll here, but I don't know about the 8 crit damage. So again, for the sake of the video, we're going to assume that 4 and 7 are the max rolls, which are very, 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 very acceptable rolls to take. So, I'm going to talk to you about it from the stance of where I'm at with LQC, and then we'll talk about it from the stance of where you'll be from looking at a boot. And I'll show you the boot here in a minute. So, for me, with LQC, I want to be looking for a attack percent ring with a crit damage roll, a crit rate roll, and potentially speed, HP, defense. Now, the reason I'm not going to be super, super picky is because I don't necessarily want to speed LQC up too much, because I want her a little slower, but I want her faster than where she's at so that I can get Hellcutter to proc up a lot. Like, I don't want her going first, and I don't want her going dead last if I have to. But the longer Hellcutter spools up, the better, to a point. In case she actually dual attacks before I get to use her S3 and blow up said dark unit. So, I'm going to be iffy with the speed, but we'll see. Depending on how well the full roll goes. Because here's the thing. Every 50 energy refresh, I'm going to say it in energy because I want you to think about it that way, but it's 50 points, so it doesn't, so you can see that there is a little bit of cost to this. With every 50 points, you have to select a whole new window. It's not just a substat. You can't lock one in. I would easily pay 1,000 energy to lock a stat in. Honestly, at this point, this event could be so much better if you could just lock a stat in for a chunk of energy. That would be huge, because this way, if you happen to see a 5 speed roll, locked, it's mine, I'm taking it no matter what else I roll. And then you're just dicing the others. I would love to be able to have that function. Does it exist here? No, not at all. Smilegate, take my opinion. I don't want anything for it. Just implement it, and everybody will love you for it. Energy cost, lock in, let's go. So, unfortunately though, you're going to have to take all 4 rolls. But they do give you a system that allows you to save your selected roll. So, without committing the commit button, there will be a button that you will always see at the bottom, which will say, I think, forge or craft or something at the very bottom. As long as you never collect that, and you're going back and forth between rolling between the A and B roll. A roll will say is, one roll could be speed, crit damage, HP, and effectiveness. Is that what you want for LQC? No. What are we after? Pure freaking damage. I want to see it all. Rock and roll. Let's go. Crit damage, crit rate, attack, flat attack, speed. That's what I want. You know, something like that. Or if I want some extra bulk, throw the defense and replace the speed. You know, or flat attack. You know, show me something like that, and those are going to be things I'm going to start locking in. Now, here's the thing. Every time you get a roll that looks roughly like what you want. So in the case here, I say I get a min roll of speed. Let's say I get a okay roll in crit damage, crit rate, and say flat attack. I'm going to start taking that as my base roll. And every time you roll, you keep coming back to that roll until you get something that upgrades the way you want it. This way, at the end of the event, if that's the worst case scenario, you can at least still lock that in and you're not just stuck with garbage. So I made the mistake early on where I wasn't locking in everything because I'm like, I have 20,000 energy points saved up. I can easily roll this multiple times. No. You can go 5,000 energy and see all garbage rolls. Now, let's jump over to Vivian, who actually holds my last crafting event's boot. For everybody here that is new, this is probably something you're going to want to put. Is you're going to want to go something like this. And I'm also going to show you my Arbiter Vildred ring and boot, as well as my Spectre Tenebia ring and boot. But this was what I made. This was initially made to go on Judge Kisei because she was one of my first units. That's what chat was helping me try to build, was something for her. Turns out, where she was and how she was geared at the time, it was better that she had what she had. I had just pulled Vivian, and I put this on her, and it instantly made Vivian 10,000 times better than what she was. So, this became Vivian's boot instead. And it still resides on her today from the last crafting event. So what was I after? I was looking for crit damage, crit chance, max attack roll, and trying to get a max flat attack roll. I was going for full, pure damage. Because it's a speed boot, we don't have to worry about the speed. It's coming off the main stat. So, pure offensive was no defensive bulk stats whatsoever. This could have gone horribly wrong for me. Every roll could have gone into flat attack, and this thing would have been bricked. Just saying. So do be careful with flat rolls like this. You can brick it. So most of you may want to take a helpful stat, probably HP, maybe effectiveness, depending on who you're trying to craft this for. I can't tell you who and how you want to build it because it's going to depend on what you're missing for your build. So this is what I crafted. Now let's go look at my Arbiter Vildred first, because most of you, from what I can tell, listen to my advice. You're awesome. And you picked the man. I'll get to you guys in a minute. Just hold on. I see you trying to... Nope. Calm down. All right. So, for my Arbiter Vildred, I got kind of lucky with these boots. Not necessarily where I wanted it, but I kid you not, his crit chance is exactly 100%. We checked it today, and I'm literally 100% crit chance. So, this is what you'll be wanting, something like this for your Arbiter Vildred. You'll be wanting a speed imprint boot, unless you're trying to go super slow, which I wouldn't recommend doing. But you want a speed imprint boot. You'll be looking for crit damage, max attack roll. So as that sheet showed, you'll be looking for like an 8% crit roll, 7% crit damage, 5% crit chance, and flat attack. I think that was reforged flat. I don't think I hit the flat attack when I leveled this up. I think that was just reforged up. I think it was like 45, 42, something like that. I don't think I hit this. I don't think I hit flat attack once. If I did, it's such a so low roll. But yeah, this is something kind of what you're going to be after. For a ring, if you're going this route, attack percent ring, crit damage, crit chance, bulk, HP percent would be fine here. Defense percent would be fine here. And speed. You really want the speed here. This is where most of my RB speed comes from, is this darn ring. It's here. So, look for something like this if you're trying to build something for your Arbiter Vildreds. If you're after a crit damage neck, this is basically what you're after. Crit chance, attack percent, defense, and speed. Bulk. HP could have been fine there too. Either one. I got lucky with the way this rolled. I was really happy that it mostly went into attack. And again, I'm right at 100% crit chance, so any more crit chance would have been overcap for me. Any less, I'd have been just slightly under. And again, it happened to touch speed once along the way. It was a 4-speed ring, or 4-speed necklace, and it went to a 3-speed roll. The next one you'll want to look at is, yes, you, finally, everybody who picked the waifu of the banner, Spectre Tenebria. Now, we get to talk. Yeah, Arby's, you can go play on your phone for a minute, because I know you're bored now, because we're over here. So, for Spectre Tenebrias, what are you going to want to be looking for? Another speed imprint boot. See the trend here? You really don't want to do really too much else right now for where you're at. Again, everybody I'm talking to are the beginner handbook people. This is something you're going to be after. Look for attack percent, defense, crit damage, crit chance, HP. She's going to want some bulk. Spectre Tenebria is okay with bulk. Why? Because of her passive. She's got to live through 3 other people dying before she can actually get single targeted. So what does that mean? Anytime she's going to get attacked in PvP, it's probably through AoE. Because somebody's trying to get through the other units to kill her because she's dangerous. So, having bulk on your Spectre Tenebria is a very good thing. So look for something like defense. And if you happen to get a boot like this is still very, very good. Even though you're probably like, I wish it went more into attack. That actually worked out very well for me. For rings, the same thing. You want an attack percent ring. And this, actually, you can't get better other than rolling better. Honestly. This ring could roll a lot better, but this is what you're after. This is literally right up Spectre Tenebria's alley. Crit damage, crit chance, health percent, defense percent. With an attack percent main, this is perfect. Now, I'm not going to show her neck off because this isn't really where I would want her. I don't really want her on an effectiveness set. While yes, I am sitting around 38% effectiveness, I don't necessarily land the poisons all the time. I would much rather have her more offensive. So with a crit chance neck and crit chance chest, eventually, hopefully I can get it this crafting event, I can probably get her crit chance to 100%. Maybe get some attacks somewhere else. Maybe I got some pieces that I can try to get some extra stuff from. So I'll be looking for it from her necklace, from her chest, and her helm. I'll be looking to try to get more offensive stats out of that. So that's why my crit chance is lower on my Spectre Tenebria. I am working towards it. That's kind of one of the goals of my hunt event, is to fix her. I will briefly mention for bruisers a rough idea of kind of what I mean by they need something a little bit different. I'm going to use my Fighter Maya as the example because this is the only thing I can really show you. Is if you're after Fighter Maya, you're going to be looking for, you know, like in this case, we're looking for, still she's going to be on speed. Some people put her on defense percent, which is fine. But I was looking for crit damage, crit chance, defense. That's kind of what I was after here. So this is a bruiser type build. For the ring, I went defense percent, crit damage, crit chance, HP, defense would have been perfect for her. Do I really need the provoke or the effectiveness for the provoke? No. I can soul burn it and it's going to be 15% or not. It's one or the other. I'm not really worried about it. But that kind of gives you an idea of that there are bruisery things, but most of you aren't going to be worried about bruiser stuff. But if there are a few of you who are more advanced and you're new to the game or just coming back and you didn't have this event before and you're curious about it, but you're more advanced, you can build bruiser stuff. At that point, you'd be looking for like HP percent necklaces, crit chance, crit damage, speed, crit chance, crit damage, HP, depending on who you're building. Because again, some units don't need crit chance for how their kits work. So you'll have to be very careful. Again, I wanted to make sure that I really cover the two big ones, which is Arbiter Vildred and Spectre Tenebria, because that's what most of y'all have picked out of your Moonlights. There's a few of you who clicked her, which is, you know, applause. My first 10 pull. I got lucky. I only had to pick between Dark Corvus and Arbiter Vildred. No brainer. So that wraps up, I think, everything you need to know about the crafting event. Now, I'll say this one last time just to drive the point home. You've got an entire month to craft this ring. Be patient. Be smart. There's a lot of options you're going to get thrown at you as you're rolling. Pick a character that really needs the upgrade. As I said before I was going to leave, I don't care. I will show you the abomination. This is why I am crafting something for LQC. It's because of this ring right here. It is a crit rate ring. It was the only crit rate ring, or it was the only ring that had attack percent, crit damage, and crit chance on it. Out of my, like, 100-something rings. Go figure, RNG. Honestly, I think I burned my luck with somebody else. Somebody else has a decent one. But I didn't want to remove it. I wanted to make something for her. So, in this case, I took the major L of breaking the speed set for the attack percent. I still have 4,500 attack. But her speed is abysmal. This is too slow. By the time she gets a turn, there's a good chance I've probably dual attacked with her and I lost my Hell Cutter. So I'm going to speed her up some. I'm looking for, you know, a pretty powerful ring for her, which will put her up in the bracket really where I want her. And I can go through and replace the other pieces of gear as I see fit, because I think her sword's pretty bad. Yeah, I could do better on her sword. I think I could do a little bit better on her chest. I think I could do, if I got defense percent and HP percent with crit chance, crit damage, this chest could be a lot better too. So I'm looking for upgrades along the way through my wyvern hunting and all of that. That's why I'm specifically going after this. This shows you the prime example of what you're wanting to do. So if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe to stay up to date with all of the coming videos and with the latest informations. I've got stuff planned. It's just going to take me a while, but I'm working on it one step at a time. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.